Hi everybody. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sarah Breskman Cosme. I'm a level 3 QHHT practitioner out of the beautiful Florida Keys. And today I want to read you this really interesting session. It's been so interesting recently. I've had so many clients talk about this white light or this light hitting the planet right now. And it's just almost every single client. So anyway, I just recently had this one client that shared a lot of information, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So I thought that I would just share this session with you today. And we're starting after the past life. So she realized that she was an extraterrestrial coming to Earth, and she's measuring the planet, and she has access to a lot of great information. So we're starting with where I ask her, how does the Earth look? Because she's saying that she's checking its physical health. So she says, it looks like it's been repaired, like it's had quite a bit of repair over time, like it was near the brink of collapse at one point. ETs have changed time a little bit here and there so that they could clean up the oceans and the Earth. It's done in a way that many humans don't notice. Playing with time can be used. But the biggest impact on this Earth is the energy. The Earth has been bathed in a healing energy for quite some time. What kind of energy do you mean? I ask. It's like high frequency healing energy. It comes through every pyramid portal. The energy that's interacting through each of these is creating a prism of light, and that prism of light is interacting with these sources as well, and it's creating this complex, this geometric shape, and it even has compartments within it, crystal-like, and the Earth is part of this healing space. The Earth has been included in this, and that has helped the energy of the Earth to raise in frequency because of this. Where does this energy come from? I ask. It's coming from everywhere, even from the geometry itself. I mean, obviously, these are high frequency sources. One of these sources is the central sun, so it's undoubtedly very powerful. But the reason that it works is because of the geometry, the placement of these portals connecting to one another to create a healing contraption, in a very big one made to heal planets. The Earth is part of. I see a white film all above and around the Earth, and the Earth is turning into a higher frequency planet. There is a connection between your Earth and my planet. What is the connection of Earth and your planet? I asked. It's that white, pure white light energy. I see the same kind of white film starting to form around this Earth. I feel that my planet is part of this Earth's evolution. I'm seeing that your Earth is on its way to the same state of frequency that my planet has. So I asked, is your planet the future of Earth, or is it just a different planet? And she said, it's not the same. It's not Earth. It's one of the Earth's planets. There are several Earth planets, and my planet has evolved to where it is now as that high frequency energy that has been there for a long time, and that will happen to your Earth. So I asked, so this will happen to this Earth, and the Earth is evolving along the same trajectory, you mean? She said, yes, my planet and your Earth are connected along parallel lines and an energetic grid. My planet is connected to this Earth planet along this grid, along this timeline grid. If you can imagine a ladder with rungs, my planet is toward the top of the ladder. Your Earth is somewhere right behind the middle, and there are a number of Earth planets all along each rung of this ladder, and they're all evolving to higher and higher frequencies. So is that the way that they're supposed to go, or the way that it works? I asked. Yes, it's a lineage of Earth planets that evolve along not just this trajectory, but this particular timeline in this Earth's pathway of evolution, and eventually they all evolve. Oh, okay, so this Earth is evolving. Yes, there is still duality on your Earth, but it won't last much longer. It's on its way out of duality. Was there a purpose to the duality? Yes, every Earth planet along this trajectory passes through a stage of duality in its infancy. That's just the way that it works. Tell me more about what is happening to this Earth. Well, there are versions of your planet along each step of the ladder, so to speak, but once a planet reaches a certain frequency, it then jumps to the higher step of the ladder, a higher dimension. This is just the way that evolution works for these Earth planets. It's just the way that my planet evolved. Now I'm going to try to get a temperature reading of the Earth because she was still working as I was talking to her in this lifetime. Okay, so how is this Earth's temperature? There's a part of Earth that's very sick. It's the equivalent of a human being with a very high fever. There's a sickness on your Earth. What caused this sickness, I asked. The consciousness of the dark beings that are and have been on your planet. They're extracting a lot. They're taking from the Earth like a parasite, sucking the Earth of its life. That's what has been causing this sickness. From a higher perspective, it would look as if one side of this Earth is covered in this white light frequency. The other side of the Earth is still covered in this sickness. What parts of the Earth are covered in this darkness, or does it depend on where there's a higher frequency or not, I asked. It would look as if one side of the Earth is blanketed in this white light, while the other side is consumed with the darkness. Right now there is a split. However, this white light frequency is slowly transcending into the other side that is consumed with darkness, and it's doing its best to work as quickly as it can. Let's just say to heal the sickness. It looks like it may take some time because some parts are very sick. Will the whole planet be covered in the white light eventually, I asked. Yes, definitely. It doesn't have a choice. But if I were to look at the sickness, which I'm going to do for a moment now, I'm seeing there's a lot of elements happening here. What's happening, I asked. There are different species of beings on this Earth from warring planets, so they're of that frequency, and they're still here on Earth. They are trying to hold their ground. Why? Because they enjoy raping the Earth of its resources. Why? I asked. Because that's what they do. They go from planet to planet and do this. They've been here for a long time. So they've been taking from Earth for a long time, and they feel that it's their right to do this, and this is what they do. And is it their right to take, I asked? We don't judge what is right or wrong. They're operating from that perspective. That's what they know, what they can see. So from their perspective, they are correct, and it is their right. When they come to take, do they affect humans as well, I asked? Yes, in a lot of ways. One of the main reasons that humans are sick is because of trauma inflicted by these wars, and the energy that they're bringing here is very dense and dark. So it's just, even though their energy frequency, so it's their energy frequency that they use to pollute a massive part of the environment here. They pollute through their frequency. It's very dense. Their mentality is very dark as well. And why did they come to this Earth? There are a lot of resources to be had on this planet, and the Earth didn't really have any defenses. What kind of resources? Well, humans are a resource for them. They use humans through their fear, and so there is enslavement. There is enslavement happening through fear. Can you tell me about that? How does that work? Well, this has been going on for a very long time. Humans were used as slaves during ancient Egypt. It was a very common thing. And this kind of lineage of slavery has become, just very systemic here. Humans are not really being used for physical labor anymore. These warring beings have already built what they needed to build. Well, how are humans used now? Through mind control. That is the predominant tool that is being used. The human mind is very, very easy to manipulate. It has very few defenses, and so it is easy to control. Tell me more. What is happening with these warring beings? These dark beings are now trying as hard as they can to control as many as possible because they themselves are reacting out of fear, because they can see this white light frequency is taking over this Earth planet. They know it, they see it, and they're trying to control how long they can keep this darkness here. So the more people that are plugged into this darkness, the longer it will take for the light to be absorbed. These warring dark beings are just buying time, and they're going to try to drag it out as long as possible. That is what they do. They want to remain on Earth as long as they can, but they all know that once their frequency gets to a certain point, they will not be able to stay here anymore. Their energy will no longer be compatible. They won't be able to stay, so why not allow the white light frequency to absorb those dark beings so they can evolve too? A few of them have chosen that. A number of these entities are choosing that now, but of course, not all of them are ready to evolve. They're not ready to stop playing their game. They're having too much fun, and they want to continue to do that, and they will do that on another planet when it's time for them to leave. They will find another planet that is easy to infiltrate, just like Earth, a planet that is open. Okay, I have a question. What about people that refuse to wake up and accept this light energy? There are humans who are not ready to evolve. It's similar for these humans that they will be placed on planets where they're more compatible with that frequency. There will always be a compatible host or place to match the frequency of those that don't wish to evolve. And that is in progress. That is part of this whole transition. Placements are being found for those beings that are not ready to evolve. Okay, but Earth is definitely making her transition, correct? Yes, Earth is definitely making this transition. It's in progress, and the Earth will not split into two planets. It will remain as one planet of a higher frequency. Can you tell me about this dark side? What are they doing now on our Earth? There are multiple tools for mind control that are being employed now. The media is one, and the virus is another. So how is the virus one exactly? Is there really a virus? Or is that just something that was made by these dark players? There's definitely a biological component to this virus, but I'm being shown that the biological component is relatively small compared to the psychological component. If enough people believe that something is dangerous, then it will become dangerous. And I'm being shown the same is true with your jabs. These are props. They are psychological tools for warfare. Jabs only, or also the virus? The virus and the jab, they go hand in hand. They were always meant to be introduced together as a bundle because the mind is so powerful, especially now that the frequency of Earth is rising. The mind has an even greater impact. What we think and what we believe is manifested more quickly. The more people believe in the destructive and harmful effects of these tools, the more it will make them destructive and harmful. So it's working very well for these dark entities, the way that it's playing out, because there's such a strong belief in it, in this poison. I'm being shown that it takes very strong minds, stronger minds, to not fall into this theatrical scenario that has been fed to the masses. The fear of the jab itself is part of their agenda, because it's just as destructive. The fear itself is destructive, if not more destructive than the biological component. Well, okay, so what about the people that wanted to get this jab and they get it, and then what about the people that have side effects? What about those people? For those that wanted it and have chosen it and have no fear involved, then there may or may not be a biological impact on the body. But it's much, much more beneficial for any of those people to have a positive intention while they take this jab. It's the fear that they're playing on more than any biological component at this point. Although if someone believes strongly that the jab is detrimental, if that is part of their belief system, whether they're conscious of it or not, that I'm being shown that it will be more likely to have those effects, because that's how strong the mind is. So think positively. Is manifestation so high because of this white light? Yes, that is exactly correct. We have much more power now in terms of our mental abilities to manifest because that frequency is already here. The mental component is very powerful right now because this Earth has now been classified as one of those manifesting planets. You can manifest on your Earth more quickly because of the frequency. That can be used, though, either for good or for bad. It is really important to understand just how powerful your beliefs and your thoughts are. Okay, so what sort of advice would you give a human to help them learn to master their thoughts and emotions? Well, right now, this is the single most powerful thing that the human can do, is to understand the power of thought, the power of belief. And it really is belief and thought that constitute consciousness and dictates how consciousness manifests on the physical plane. There are so many different ways to do it depending on the human being's preference. Meditation is crucial now. The ability to recognize your true identity is crucial. You are not just the mind-body unit. Human beings have to understand and move beyond their identity. It helps to have higher awareness. Okay, so you said meditation is crucial, as well as understanding who you truly are. What if people don't meditate? Is there another way that a person can control their mind during this manifestation period? And she said, the thoughts that people think on a daily basis are very important because they will create the reality that they will be living in. This is like a 2 or 3 year period that we are talking about. So whatever it takes is what you should use. Don't allow negative thoughts to enter your mental space. Instead, fill your mental space with thoughts that you enjoy and that you like, because your thoughts and your beliefs will show up in your physical environment in a very big way. So whatever it takes for the individual to stop negative thoughts without causing physical impact to the body, of course. If a being is doing a lot of drugs to stop the thoughts, then that's going to also have a negative impact because the body can't handle toxic material. But fine, choose any way that works for you. One easy way for people who don't have a strong meditation practice is to simply be in nature. If you can walk barefoot on the ground on your earth, you can connect to Gaia. That is another way that you can be fed high frequency energy. When you are being fed high frequency energy through the earth, then you are much better off in terms of the kind of thoughts that enter your mind. You can also give the earth your negative thoughts. She is taking them. She is playing her part to help. So you can give whatever energy away to the earth, and she will absorb it. You can even visualize your thoughts leaving from the top of your crown chakra, just seeping out and then being absorbed by the earth, or seeping out through the bottoms of your feet, and you can just visualize them leaving, exiting your system. Thank you. Could you tell me more about this light? I've heard that it's also helping to release fear by shaking things up within the human to reveal the negativity so that it can be released. Is this correct? Yes, that is correct. There is so much help on the planet for you humans at this time. There is also the inner earth, the inner layers within. There are not many dark beings on the inside layers of the earth, and so the white light frequency can travel through many of these layers with ease, and it is doing all it can to travel in all different ways to get to a being that is receptive. Anyone that is receptive to it, it will penetrate. But at the same time, there are distractors. The media is very strong. There are beings that are very tightly connected to their fear. And for these beings that are so unaware of the higher realms, they will be consumed by this darkness more and more. You will see very negative people becoming even more negative. So it's easier for them to be consumed by this darkness now, I asked? Yes, but they don't have that much longer to be consumed. I mean, you need to act quickly. However, you need to know that anyone can wake up at any moment, because that is a right of any being in existence. So for a being that has extremely strong desire to awaken, they can choose to do so at any time. There are those, perhaps we can call them on the fence, who are still unaware of their higher self. Then they're very easy prey, and for that reason, they will likely not escape from this mental trap because it's too easy. There are too many things that are being used to keep someone in a state of fear. There are many different tools being used to keep them in this fear, and if the human is not able to see through them, then they don't really have much of a chance. The more people there are that are aware of the higher realms, aware of the higher consciousness, and the more that they connect to one another, the more understanding there is. Then the more opportunities there will be for others to awaken. Okay, so we're helping to create the environments for others to awaken? Yes, each person helps by awakening themselves. Each person helps by what they think about throughout their day. If, let's say, a large group of 5,000 or more are creating the scenarios in their mind that there will be a massive opportunity for others to awaken, then you are influencing that reality to take place because many of you are believing in it. Okay, so manifestation can happen in many different ways now on this planet. Yes, it does, and it goes down to what people believe, think, and feel. Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any other messages for humans? Yes, compassion during this time is important. There are souls at so many different stages of evolution and awareness. There are many beings that are very deeply asleep, while there are souls who are on the brink of a full enlightenment on your planet right now. There's just so much diversity that someone who is on the brink of awakening can be living next to someone that is lifetimes away from awakening. You have many beings living in completely different paradigms, and the natural tendency is to judge where others are in their evolution because it's not the same place that you are in. And both sides are doing this, and so the less judgment there is, the better this transition will go. It's not that judgment is going to do anything terrible, but releasing judgment will make things easier for you as well as an individual. So just unburden yourself by allowing yourself not to be so judgmental. You will help support your own awakening that way. Hold the compassion, feel that compassion, because what is happening here is very unusual in many ways. And one day you will understand just how lucky you are not to be asleep at this time. Because those who are asleep are caught in a very difficult situation. They simply did not have enough time to learn the lessons at the pace that human beings learn. At this point, you have to be a very fast learner. However, the environment on Earth for you is ripe for this learning. There's a lot of help, a lot of very, very benevolent, powerful energy that exists on this planet right now, but you have to be open enough to even want to use it and to believe that it's there. Some have not gotten to that place of openness, and so they are stuck in their fear, unable to tap into those higher realms. But even they will see very quickly, once they pass into spirit form, they will see exactly what's happening on this planet, and we will understand this boundary. And they will understand this boundary between dark and light right now. They may not understand or believe that there is a battle of dark and light happening. For some, it will take death to see it, but once they die, they will see it right away. All souls passing out of body right now, out of this lifetime, are waking up quickly after death, or they have the opportunity to do so. So some people are waking up after they die, I asked? Yes, they can have the opportunity at that stage, so don't worry about those who are dying, because they too have a choice. Tell me more about that. Well, they have a choice, whatever it is that they have planned, and if they do not feel ready to wake up upon death, they will be relocated. However, that will depend on their level of consciousness, their level of awareness upon death. But I will say this, that those who are dying are seeing with very clear eyes exactly what is taking place right now on your planet. So in one sense, it's easier to awaken after death than it was in the past. It was harder before, I asked? Well, let's just say that the environment is ripe for deeper clarity now. So for this earth, there is a plane that exists, the life in between lives. And that plane is also, let's just say, infused with higher frequency energy, just like on this plane. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting, and I thought I would share it with you. But like everything, just feel free to take it or leave it, because apparently whatever you believe goes. So if you don't believe in it, then don't take it. And if you do, then feel free to. And I hope that you could have gotten something out of this. And I just wish you the best and good luck on your journey. And much love to all of you. Thank you so much.